Good afternoon, y'all. Once again, I just want to say thank you to all the subscribers and all the new ones and everybody that's taken time out to watch the videos and leave comments. All that really is truly appreciated. No lie, man. And it's just very fulfilling to know other people are so like-minded and that the experiences that I've gone through, whether I coined them good or bad at a time, have given me the ability to have some insight to give maybe other people different perspectives and help too. Yeah, man, it works in full circle. It really does. I was trying to think about what to talk about today because I don't really script none of this. You know, it's all improv. I like to allow the universe just to speak through me. You know, the Most High to speak through me. I guess one of the things I was thinking about though is the state of semen retention, you know, as it is now, you know, in the semen retention community on YouTube. Oh, that's elementary school behind me is getting out. I'm like, hold on, man, I'm getting pulled over. Got, you know, my megaphones and stuff. What did I do? I'm cool now. But anyways, yeah, the state of semen retention and how it is now, because as I said before, if you watch other videos, you know, I found this practice, or let me rephrase that, I was introduced to this practice by the universe by way of a journey of self-improvement 22 years ago. You know, that's a minute. You know, I had to get on my calculator and figure out the day and stuff. I was like, man, because somebody had asked me. Yeah, so it's been a minute, but you know, now, you know, YouTube has, you know, publicized it more, you know, so I started doing my investigations and learning more about it, you know, through YouTube, and definitely appreciative of it being such highlighted thing, man, in the community, or on YouTube, I should say, and actually having a community that goes with it. The one thing though I've noticed that's you know, been kind of like a common occurrence is, and this is no shot to nobody, you know, so I'm doing this as a gentle opinion, you know. I've seen a lot of people, or like I said too, you know, anything that becomes publicized, you know, something that's very sacred or something that's very has a strict way about it. Sometimes I've noticed that when it becomes publicized and it becomes like a mainstream thing, it almost becomes diluted a lot, and that just happens just based off of, you know, people wanting to take shortcuts or put their spin on it, you know, and that's just human nature, you know. But I would like to bring what I believe is a seriousness back to it, you know, because this is definitely a serious practice, and the implications from doing this practice have repercussions as well, man. And the reason I say that is because what we're doing, when you actually think about it in depth, is you're tapping into the spiritual world. And my belief, you see The Exorcist, the spiritual world ain't nothing to play with at all. And so one of the things that people have commonly done is, you know, kind of, I don't know if it's a boasting thing or if it's just, you know, and it's a thing that you're proud of, you know, because I've been there too. But, you know, they always count the days and being on these streaks and stuff like that. And I think that minimizes the sincerity and the seriousness about the practice, because it's not really a game to be like, how long can, you know, a competition to see how long I can go on it, you know. Even though I know not everybody desires to be a brahmacharian and, you know, a celibate man for the rest of their life. A lot of people don't have being celibate in their mind as the end goal. You know, sooner or later you definitely, you know, want to get back to humping and stuff like that. You know, I know, you know, I definitely know, you know. So it's just one of the blessed things that we're able to experience, you know, as men on this earth. So, but definitely about balance in the right time and right place. But I just want to get back to it as far as like not concentrating so much on keeping that battle going with yourself, if that makes sense. Because when you're constantly counting the days, what you're doing is you're imprinting in your mind that this is a temporary journey that you're going to be on, and it very well may be. But I think that by doing that, you're not really putting 100% in it. You're not giving it its due process, and having the authenticity that goes along with it, that can actually benefit you a lot more. And just to be careful as well that when you acquire these powers, because they are a power. When you become a man, a fully capable man that has all his fluids and it has all his faculties in order, you become very powerful. So this is a very powerful practice. And I think when people play around with it, or people, because that's another thing too, they talk about the women attraction and all the women attraction that you get off of it. But when you think about it logically, we are restricting ourselves from women not to get more women. So that's what I mean when some people talk about it. Their alignment or the reasoning for them being on semen retention is malicious. And I think you're gonna get taxed. I truly believe you're gonna get taxed by the universe by doing this practice with the intention of seducing women, with the intention of not being humble, but thinking that you're better than other people. And the one thing I know for sure is that when the universe tax you, oh man, you gonna feel it, man. And it's gonna happen. It ain't no ifs, ands, maybes, nothing. The universe don't play neither. You have to be authentic with what you're doing and dig deep and understand what you're doing. Because when you're playing with this spiritual world, there's things that come with that, good and bad and indifferent. But I think everybody needs to, have their own experience and their own understanding of that journey. I'm not trying to micromanage your semen retention journey or nothing like that. I'm just, voicing my opinion. Another thing I had somebody ask me is, what are some of the things that I felt were some drawbacks and benefits? And, I told the brother, I don't really feel like there's any drawbacks to it throughout all my experiences, only because hindsight, looking at all the things that I once deemed as maybe setbacks or negative things, actually turned out to be very beneficial to me. As far as like, one of the things, I'm already a fighter by nature. In my heart, I've always been a fighter, So when you get on semen retention, though, just like all the years of boxing, when we took those prolonged periods of not having any sexual interactions with women, your aggression, it skyrockets. And so that's one of the things that, even recently I had to check myself about and say, hey man, watch what you're doing, D, because that's a power that becomes very prominent, for however long. I don't know how it is for everybody. For me, it lasted a couple weeks. After I was on semen retention for a long time, then it subsided, but I think a lot of it was also due to me being aware of why I was being aggressive. And it was just because I was unaligning with the majority of the world now. And so I wasn't used to all this pressure of everybody staring at me, everybody, a lot of men being jealous and a lot of these energies acting adverse to just my aura and my vibration. And so, I'm like, fuck that, bro. What's popping? You know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, nah, man. Then I settled down and I leveled out in a lot of ways. So that in turn became a benefit, because I became more self-aware, more conscious of myself and how I work. And I was able to discipline myself, not only in the sexual nature, but now I was able to discipline my aggression. And I didn't know it was a problem until I had all my faculties in order, right? So once you start getting all your faculties in order, now the true you is displayed. Now you can see all the chinks in your armor. Before, you was you may have just been, you were very worldly, and so you didn't notice all of these little intricate things because you were of the world. You were doing what the world was doing. So it didn't really bother you, or, it really wasn't highlighted and exposed because that was just how everybody was living. But when you take a step back and refine yourself and remind yourself who you are, by doing that, you become back to like more the natural you. And so now you can start, like I said, now you become a clean sheet of paper again. And now you can see all your defects. But it's an opportunity to capitalize on those and strengthen those. You see? And so that's what I learned too. So that's why I was saying I don't think there's any really real drawbacks to it. But I thought about it even more. Like I said, I'm a thinker, man. And I think one of the things that I've been dealing with off and on, not so much no more, but it has been a loneliness. Always be. It's been a loneliness, and that's tough. I've found benefit in it, but the feeling of loneliness, it sometimes overpowers the understanding that you have of it and why you're going through it. His emotions is powerful, man. And my uncle told me a long time ago, Darren, never let your emotions override your wisdom. And that's a jewel that I've kept for a long time, and I'm gonna continue to keep and pass on to anybody that's gonna listen and can understand that and use it as well, man. But the emotion of loneliness will cause you to do a lot of things. It will cause you to revert back to the worldly pleasures of life, and it will cause you to question yourself. Because you don't fully, even though you understand it, you can't fully grasp the whole concept yet because you haven't seen the result of what this lonely journey is going to produce. But I've gained some understanding that's helped me and motivated me to be more solid in this endeavor. And one of the things is being lonely, you see, is actually an act of protection. So I'm thinking about back when I was booked. I'm locked up. I'm like, damn, I can't, I was locked up. I did over 6 years of my life. Off and on. Did 2 years here, 2 years here, and all type of little months and weeks and stuff in between. So I'm calculating it. I did probably over 6 years of my life. But every time, I'm like, man, I'm missing out. This is a consequence. This is a punishment. But hindsight, looking at it now, all of the things that it actually gave me an opportunity to separate from the masses. I wasn't around no cigarette smoke. I wasn't around no drugs and alcohol and women. And, even though sometimes it was pleasurable, a lot of times it was pleasurable, it gave me an opportunity to separate from that. Whereas if I was left to my own ability or my own discipline at that time, it wouldn't have happened. Hell nah. I'd have kept on partying. And so the Most High separated me, you see? And I used that time to learn. Some people go in there and they just do their time and they get out. But me, I took my time to take my time and rebuild myself. And it eliminated all the distractions that I wasn't strong enough to eliminate myself. And it brought me closer to God, so much closer to God and myself. And it raised my health as well. I'm working out every day. I'm feeding my mind. I'm feeding my spirit. I'm feeding my body on a consistent basis. And so when I came out, I'm kind of cool now. I've been a fighter, so I don't really try to get big and bubble. When I was in there, I was hitting the iron every day, doing a lot of, I was like 190 solid. I was a baby gorilla. You know what I mean? I was there. That's why I can still do the things that I do now. Because I've already mastered the discipline of being consistent for years and years, every single day though. Rain, sleet, hail, whatever, thunderstorm. I was outside. I was in the yard, big yard, small yard. I was always working out, even in my room when we had lockdown, all that. And so it just became a part of my life. And so, damn, I don't want to go off track here, but oh, that's what it was, loneliness. So it's a separation. You know, when you get lonely, it's a separation. So even on the semen retention, you're gonna be out here in the world almost by yourself, it seems. You know, as we see in this community, you know, there's several men that's struggle with this, and it's also been able to overcome and is working on it just like you. You're not alone at all. So, but it feels like that, you know, especially when you detach from women, you're detached from these vices that you're so accustomed to entertaining and doing, and it becomes almost like a comfort because it's a common thing that you do, you know. It's just a habit. So when you stop doing those certain things, it's like, damn, what do I do now? You know, and especially with the women, it's like, man, when am I really gonna work? When you're really aligned with yourself, you understand what kind of woman that you want. You see women for how they are, not just sex objects now. And so the qualities that you're looking for in a partner are going to transcend what you once thought that you wanted. And when you look around, you'll see there's not too many options as you once thought. And you'll also see that maybe you're not ready even to venture off into that territorial life yet, as far as getting in a relationship and getting married and all the responsibilities and obligations that come with that. And so it becomes very lonely, like, what am I doing? Because you have to work on yourself. You gotta work on yourself. And I don't want to make this video too long, but I just wanted to share that, just bring back that seriousness to this semen retention, and you know, just be true to it. You know, be true to it. And you know, if you know, and everybody has their stages. So I'm not saying, hey, you need to get on this and you need to stay on it for the rest of your life or none of that, man. I'm just like you. I'm just figuring this thing out too. But you can get in the continuity of treating this like a game, you know, and I think if you do that, you're gonna miss the aim. You know, you're gonna miss the true benefits and the true produce that can be produced from this. So let's finish up this Starbucks coffee, man, and get on this road. But thanks again to everyone taking the time to watch the videos and subscribing and commenting, and you motivate me. And we in this together, man. You know, we all doing this together, because with, you know, us all aligning and passing on this information strengthens the men in the world, which in turn, as I said before, is going to strengthen the women, and it has a potential of strengthening the whole world. Have a blessed one to you and yours. Deuces.